Hey patrons, welcome to your review for the $20 and up patrons for the month of February 2018. If you're watching this, that means you are a $20 or more patron of me, which is awesome. Thank you so much. Unless you're not and you're watching this, and that's a problem. Something went horribly awry, but that's okay. Somehow you made it to this and you're watching it, so I guess that's fine. Every month I do one of these reviews for the $20 patron level. It's an unedited version, as if you couldn't tell already, of me just giving my thoughts on a movie. At this level, it's a movie that I pick, that I've been meaning to watch, and I check it out, and then I let you know in an unedited review what I thought about it. And this month, I watched Hatchet. Yeah, Hatchet, because this is a movie that I've been meaning to watch ever since I launched the channel, actually. I don't think I heard of it before I launched Dead Meat, because everyone knows probably at this point that I was super into horror movies as a kid. That probably fizzled out around 2005, maybe even like a little bit earlier than that. And then I would just like check in with horror a little bit throughout the next 10 years or so. But Hatchet was one that, because when did it come out? I took notes on doesn't say. I believe it was 2009. If memory serves me right. I'm going to be looking at my phone occasionally for notes. Don't think I'm being rude or on Facebook or anything. But let's just go with the assumption that it was made in 2009. So that would have been after I was out of the game kind of when it came to horror movies. And it was 2006. Holy shit. Oh, wow, that's earlier. Yeah, so that must have come out right after I got out of them. And I'm surprised I didn't hear about it because it features Kane Hodder as Victor Crowley, the main villain of this movie, and he's great. It's him getting to be another character besides Jason, because the last time he would have played Jason would have been 2001 with Jason X, because they famously didn't use him for 2003's Freddy vs. Jason. So yeah, this was, I imagine this was a fun opportunity for him to start a new horror character that has gone on to do 3 more movies. The fourth one, Victor Crowley, just came out late last year, I think. I have a signed poster of it in my room from a horror convention. I just want to meet Felissa Rose, who I guess is in it. She was doing that. I was like, yeah, sign this poster for a movie I've never heard of, because I didn't even know Hatchet too much back then. But in any case, finally got around to watching it. Glad I did. It's a fun movie. It's definitely made in the same vein as 80s slasher movies, with just a group of characters who are mostly unlikable, going off and getting lost or isolated in a place. In this case, the swamps of New Orleans, which is a fun location to have, and then getting killed off one by one. So that's pretty much what it is. It's definitely just it's a slasher, and that brings with it good and bad things. So with the good, when you have a slasher, you want good kills. And Hatchet, dude, oh man, fucking great kills here. Great kills in this movie. That's probably the strongest thing about this movie, right? The friggin' head twist around was the coolest version of that kill I've ever seen. And we've seen that kill a lot. The first one that comes to mind is Axel in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and that was done by Tom Savini, so obviously that looked great, but that was a quick snap around. This one, when he does it to fucking Joel Murray's character, the sleazy porn director guy, or wannabe porn director, it's so much slower, and the blood, oh my god, it's like you're twisting a bottle of soda or something, and you just see that pressure building up. So just his face gets super fucking red, and it's disgusting, and it's awesome. And he also takes a sander, a belt sander, to a chick's face. Doesn't necessarily kill her with that, because I think she ends up getting impaled on the handle of a shovel that he had just used to decapitate someone else. So these kills are awesome. They're so cool. They're so well done, and they look so great, and they're fucking brutal. And Victor Crowley's a fun murderer because he uses his hands so much. He's just this lumbering beast of a man, and a lot of what he does is just tearing people apart. which is, I think, fun because a lot of killers have like their weapon of choice. Even Jason has his machete, but here's Victor Crowley, coming up and just like ripping you limb from limb with his bare hands. I think that's a great use of Kane Hodder's physicality, because that guy's fucking huge. He's scary big, dude. And so to just put him in all that deformed makeup and have him like lumbering around and then just ripping people apart is a lot of fun. His backstory is fun. Instead of Jason's mommy issues, you get Victor Crowley's daddy issues. His dad, played by Kane Hodder, and in the first iteration of the story, you think that like his dad hates him, so it's kind of like oh no, Papa. But then in the real story that you hear, it's like, oh no, Papa Kane Hodder was he loved his weird little son, and then he got burned to death by kids, or no, he got trapped in a burning house by kids throwing firecrackers, and then he accidentally died when his dad slammed him in the face with a hatchet trying to break down the door to save him. So that's super sad. That's a fun, tragic backstory. And then like Papa Crowley just like withered away and died on his own. Kane Hodder acting sad, which is weird to see, as opposed to just seeing him act like a fucking murderer. So if you haven't seen this movie, I guess, and you're still watching, that's weird. Go watch it. I don't do too much plot summary on these reviews. And basically the plot is what I said, dude. People on a boat in New Orleans. There's one chick there, Mary Beth. She's quiet at first, and turns out that her dad and brother went missing. We see that in the opening scene of the movie because her dad is Robert Englund. That's the other fun thing about this movie is it has Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, and Tony Todd. So great triple header of horror icons who I had just seen all together in Wishmaster too, which is funny. Wishmaster, which is being reviewed by Chelsea and I on our upcoming Dead Meat podcast, which, by the way, launches next week. So get excited for that. It comes out on Tuesday. I'll let you guys know because you're patrons. Pretty exciting. I'm very excited for that. And that'll be a weekly release. So you're going to get a lot more of me in your life if you want. Okay. I don't mean to like force myself on you. Just take what you want. Okay. But it's a great podcast. And, so her dad and brother get killed in the opening scene. Good kills right off the bat. I love how the brother is like, it hurts. Oh, and then like the intro to the movie proper is just like Mardi Gras, titties. So many titties in this movie. Or actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little mixed up with Piranha, which I also just watched for the Patreon commentary. That has titties all over. This has titties all over too. Never mind, there's lots of titties in all these movies. There's just so many titties in Mardi Gras. And then the other like main character besides Mary Beth is this dude Ben, who's played by discount Adam Driver, Joel Osment, I think his name is. Is that right? He was in Grandma's Boy, which is what I know him from. He was JP in Grandma's Boy. And Chelsea always quotes one of JP's lines. I don't know if you haven't seen Grandma's Boy. It's a stoner comedy made by all of Adam Sandler's friends without Adam Sandler in it. He's the only one from the Happy Madison crew who's not in it, which is funny because it's like, and I loved it in high school. I doubt it holds up. It's probably awful. But this guy who plays Ben is like the villain in that movie, and he's like this weird guy who impersonates a robot sometimes, and he's like, sit on my face. Chelsea quotes that all the time. I don't know why. That's why I love her. But his character is boring, dude. Ben, he's just this boring guy who's like awkward around women, and like, oh, he just got broken up with, but if women dated nice guys, they would like him. What a fucking snooze fest, dude. Sucked having to follow him. His buddy is Dion Richmond from Scream 3 and The Cosby Show. He was Rudy's friend. He's worked a lot. His character is just this fucking stereotype, just like this, the loud, wide-eyed, wisecracking dude who's just fast talking and shit, and that gets old fast. Especially, it'd be fine because he's good at that. He's good at that role. He's hilarious in Scream 3, but like his character in this movie is just so negative like ceaselessly negative, just all the time saying this is lame, this is lame. Like, why'd you fucking go with him, dude? In the beginning, because they're in like a group of friends and everyone else goes off to go see titties or whatever, and Ben is like, nah, titties aren't that fun. So he wants to go do this haunted swamp ride. And Dion Richmond like comes with him and he just fucking complains the entire time. And it's so obnoxious. Like, if I was Ben, I'd be like, dude, there's a bar right across the street. Just go there and leave me alone, please. I guess he's kind of helped wooed into the whole thing by the porn stars there. Or I guess one porn star and one aspiring actress who is not, it turns out, a trained actress. Yeah, they're just topless all over the place, dude. They're just making out and they're topless. And like they try to make a joke of it, of like the blonde girl's dumb and the other girl hates working with her. They're like sniping at each other the whole time whenever the camera's not rolling. And I don't know. They make the blonde girl way too dumb because she doesn't know left from right. She's an adult woman and she doesn't know left from right. And like that's just you're a cartoon now, you know? There's stereotypical characters and then there's like caricatures. And these definitely don't feel like real people. They're just, you know, there to take their tops off. Their sleazy director, who I mentioned earlier, is Joel Murray, who is Bill Murray's brother, and who I didn't recognize at first until I like looked away from the screen and just heard his voice, and I recognized his voice. He's in fucking Mad Men, which is one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show of all time. As Freddie Rumsen, great character on that show. And it was really weird seeing him be a sleazy porn director. Because, like, Freddie Rumsen's a pretty good guy. He's really nice to Peggy. It's great. So that was weird. He does a fine job. And it turns out he's, like, not a real porn director. That's just him, like, making a personal tape. Whatever. It's a sleazy character. It's kind of a sleazy movie. It works. Anyone else in there? Oh, yeah. They're directed to that haunted boat ride by Tony Todd wearing a fantastic fucking outfit. What's his name? Dr. Zombie or some shit? I don't know. He's like, I can't run my tour anymore, so you can go check out this other place. So it's just a little cameo. It's just one scene with Tony Todd, but he fucking kills it. Of course, he's Tony Todd. He growls at them. He looks fantastic. He's amazing. Great get for that movie. I do love that they get on this boat with a tour guide. Tour guide's name is Sean. He is fucking having the time of his life doing this like big old Cajun accent and like I can't do it, I'm sorry. But he's giving like this tour. The boat says, if you was on here, you'd be scared by now. Which is hilarious to me. He's obviously super incompetent. But I love that they take off on this boat ride and then it cuts to like way later at night. And then he's like, I'm your tour guide, Sean. And it's like, did you just ride that whole way in silence or like without saying anything? Or no, I'm sorry. That's not on the boat. That's on the bus. They like take off on the bus and then it cuts like time dissolve, time jump to way later. And he's like, I'm your tour guide, Sean. And then the people start introducing themselves to each other on the bus. It's like, did everyone just sit there silently for like 20 minutes waiting for like the movie to pick back up? Oh yeah, the last people on the bus are an older couple, like a middle-aged couple, and they're like super touristy, but the dude is from he's from Office Space. He's the guy who like has the jump to conclusions mat and gets like a settlement after like a work injury, I think. He's great. They're both great. They're both like this fun Midwestern couple. I love at one point the lady's like, all these kids are half our age and they haven't stopped complaining once about this. Or I love how like the guy is always correcting Sean on his facts that he got wrong. He's like, well, I heard that they buried people above ground because of the water level. And Sean's like, no, that's not what we're talking about here. What sucks is after like the boat crashes and they're like stranded in the middle of the bayou. Mary Beth reveals that like she's got a gun. She knows about the whole Victor Crowley story. She's the one who tells them the real backstory. She's there looking for her father and brother. And then Sean's accent changes from like the kitschy New Orleans into this just like horrible stereotypical Asian accent, and it's just real bad. And then later it's revealed that that's not his real voice either, that he doesn't really have an accent. But why put that on? He's just got like layers of deceit to him, which is kind of fun when he's like, oh, it turns out he's like not a real tour guide. Like, this is only his second tour. He's fucking up. Whatever. Just the weird, like, super, like, Mickey Rooney Breakfast at Tiffany's accent that he does for, like, the middle portion of the movie. That's weird. I don't know why they had that. So, yeah, I mean, the characters, they're fine. They definitely, like, Mary Beth's boring. Ben's boring. Dion Richmond is, like, just too much. You have the two boring leads, and then all the rest of the characters are, like, caricatures. And at one point, they split up into those two groups. And, like, the caricatures are more fun to watch, for sure. But that's not who the movie's about. We have to watch the boring people. And let me see, where was that? Shot by Bush? Basically, they're just running around trying to kill Victor Crowley, who I think is dead. I'm sure the sequels will reveal more. He's like undead. It's like a curse because she shoots him at one point. He shows up again. So he has like a physical form that you can knock down, but he comes back. He keeps coming back. And I mean, that's what it is. That's what the movie is. They try to stop him. He kills one of them. They run away. They try to stop him. He kills one of them. So it's just that over and over. I do like when they light him on fire and then just rain. It starts raining and puts him out. Like, that's a fun, like, you can't stop this guy. And, like, was that a coincidence? Or did his curse have something to do with it? I don't know. It's fun. Mostly the kills are what make this movie awesome. And just, like, I guess the cast who is having fun with it. This was written and directed by Adam Green. And it looks like he's part of the Splat Pack, which includes like Eli Roth and just the people who did like Saw and Hostel and just all those movies. Piranha, which I mentioned, I just watched Piranha 3D. That's one of them by, I forget the director's name. Yeah, it's fine. Hatchet's fine. I hear the second one's better, actually, so I'm excited to watch the others. Victor Crowley's a cool character. I like him being added to the pantheon of horror villains. I think he fits in nicely. It's not like a failed attempt to make a iconic villain. It's helped along by Kane Hodder's physicality for sure, but like the makeup looks really cool on him. He's got a distinguished, I think, enough look. He kind of looks like one of those zombie rednecks from Cabin in the Woods, but this came out before that, so you know. Yeah, the tone is fine. It's definitely trying to be like a comedy, not quite a comedy horror, but like a lighthearted horror film with a lot of humor to it. Yeah, good done without the porn star just titties all the time. Titties, titties, titties. But I guess that's what this audience is looking for, right? The demographic for that. Honestly, I'm glad I watched it. I'm excited to watch the other ones. I'm curious as to why the fourth one is Victor Crowley and not Hatchet 4. I'm wondering if it's a prequel, an origin story of sorts. I do know that Mary Beth is recast in the sequel to be with Danielle Harris from the Halloween movies. So that's something I guess I'll look forward to. But basically, I mean, as far as like movies that emulate the 80s slasher feel, you could do worse. It was fun. I love the New Orleans settings. I've been to New Orleans. Haven't been on one of those boat rides, but I would definitely go on one. Just the haunted swamp ride conceit. That's a lot of fun. There's kind of like a loop going on. They can't really escape it. They keep winding up back at Victor Crowley's house when they're trying to find their way out. So that's always fun. The like, just you can't escape. It's like a Blair Witch type of thing. If you haven't seen it, I'd say check it out because even though I just told you most of the plot, like I said, the main thing here is the kills. They look fucking awesome. They're very memorable. They are very cool. Just a lot of really good gore. And I would love to do a kill count on this. at some point, for sure. I think people really want it, and I think this is like the perfect movie for a kill count because it's just got good number of kills. They're all fun and graphic, and it wouldn't take me long to summarize the plot because it's so fucking simple. So, great, cool. You guys are awesome because you're my patrons. Thank you so much for continuing to support me to do this. I just feel honored every month when I see that most of you haven't left me, that you're still there, and that we're getting new patrons. If you're new to this, I hope you enjoyed this review. Sorry it's not edited, but I'm working on tons of other stuff for you. So don't worry about that. We got the Dead Meat podcast that's coming out. There's some new stuff in the merch store, so check that out if you're interested, if you just can't get enough dead meat. But you guys are fine. You're supporting me plenty on your own, so don't feel obligated or pressured to do anything more than just keep watching and supporting me and being good people. You know, that's the most important thing. So thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Things in the country are a little weird right now. Valentine's Day, that sucked, but I hope you're all safe and happy and doing well. And thank you so much for your support. Yeah, I'll see you next month. Thanks, everyone.